All right, today we are going to talk about this sneaky, invisible force that just quietly wrecks our schedules and steals our time. It's this phenomenon that gets pretty much all of us, whether we realize it's happening or not. So let me ask you something. You ever had a project where you give yourself, say, a full week to get it done? And somehow, almost like clockwork, it takes precisely 1 week, right down to the last minute. If you're nodding along right now, you are definitely not alone. There's a really powerful principle at play here. And this is it. This one sentence, written by a guy named Cyril Northcote Parkinson way back in 1955, is the big idea we're digging into today. This is what's known as Parkinson's Law. And it's this simple but kind of profound observation that our deadlines don't just measure time. A lot of the time, they actually create it. Okay, so let's really break this down. How does a simple, straightforward task inflate into this week-long epic? Well, it's all about perception and how the time we give a task completely changes the task itself. So here's the official breakdown. It's basically a psychological trap. It's all rooted in our perception. When a deadline feels really far away, the task itself just seems to get bigger and more complicated in our heads. We start inventing extra steps, we get caught in these loops of overthinking, and we end up filling all that empty time with worry instead of actually doing the work. And this is where it gets super relatable, right? Just think about it. At work, you bang out a great presentation by Tuesday, but the deadline isn't until Friday. So what do? You spend the next 3 days perfecting it. Changing fonts, adjusting colors, second-guessing every single word. Or how about that college essay that's due in a month? It just hangs out in the back of your mind, causing this low-level stress until it's finally written in a panic the night before. And my personal favorite, you set aside a whole Saturday to clean the house, and that 2-hour job magically expands to fill all 8 hours. Sound familiar? And that's really the heart of the problem, isn't it? That feeling of having plenty of time is just a recipe for procrastination and inefficiency. Without any sense of urgency, our focus just goes all over the place and the work just puffs up to fill the empty space. Now you might be thinking, hey, so what? I get the work done in the end. But this little habit of padding our schedules, it's not harmless. It has real, actual costs that can hold us back in ways we don't even see. So here's the crucial part. Giving ourselves more time is often a terrible idea. It's basically a formal invitation for procrastination to come hang out. It can actually lower the quality of our work because we get trapped in this paralysis of overthinking. And listen, every hour you spend perfecting one project is an hour you've just stolen from other important work, or even from just relaxing. So the crazy irony here is that all that extra time creates more stress, not less, as the task just looms over you for days on end. And here's the real kicker. All that extra tweaking, all that polishing, all that worrying, what's the actual return on that investment? A lot of the time, it's a big fat zero. It doesn't actually make the final product any better. It's just wasted energy, all fueled by this dangerous idea that more time automatically means better quality. Okay, enough about the problem. The great news is, once you know what this thing is called, you can start to beat it. So it's time to flip this whole principle on its head and actually use it to our advantage. Let's walk through 5 practical ways to take back your time. All right, this is your new playbook. Number 1, set intentionally tighter deadlines. If you think a task is going to take 4 hours, give yourself 2. Seriously. Number 2, use time boxing. Block out a specific, non-negotiable chunk of time on your calendar, and when that time is up, you're done. Pencils down. Third, limit your revisions. Decide before you even start that you only get, say, 2 rounds of edits, not 20. Fourth, batch similar tasks together. Group all your emails or all your phone calls into one super focused block. And finally, create some artificial urgency. Tell a coworker or a friend you'll have something done by a certain time. That little bit of external pressure works wonders. And this just perfectly illustrates the huge mental shift we're talking about. You go from this world where time feels like this endless, vague thing to one where time is a clear, defined boundary. Your urgency goes from basically 0 to 100, and your focus becomes razor sharp. Your effort stops expanding all over the place and becomes powerful and concentrated. So why bother with all this? Why go through the trouble? Because the reward for beating Parkinson's Law? Well, it's not just about getting more stuff done. It's about what you get back in the process. Professionally, you're literally reclaiming hours that would have just been wasted. If you're a student, your study sessions become way more focused and effective. But I think the most important thing is what you get back personally. You get time back to rest without feeling guilty, to work on a hobby, or to just, breathe and be present in your own life. And let's be super clear about this. This is not about rushing through your work or doing a sloppy job, not at all. It's about being intentional. It's about getting rid of that invisible, wasteful bloat of effort that happens when we don't set clear limits for ourselves. So, I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. If you could use these techniques and magically get back just 2 hours in your day tomorrow, what would you really want to do with that time? Think about it, because that answer, that might be all the motivation you need.